Autofocus. We've got the form resetting each time. We've got a placeholder. This thing is a work of art. A very ugly work of art. Let's make it look a little nicer, shall we? Our friend Tallulah used Google Fonts, did you not? What is Google Fonts? Yeah, so Google hosts a bunch of web fonts that you can use for free on your sites. It's pretty nice. Don't get carried away. It can add to the page load considerably if you get out of control doing that. But it's a pretty nice thing. A while back, we didn't have web fonts. You're pretty much stuck to like a handful of fonts that were pretty much installed on every machine, basically the ones that came with Microsoft Office. So if you wanted to use Trebuchet MS or Georgia or Tahoma, you were good. If you wanted to use anything else, Verdana, that's another good one. But every single site used one of those like 4 fonts, except the default ones, which use Times New Roman. And you know what? It was super, super boring. So web fonts, we're very happy to see wide browser support for that. So Google Fonts is a really nice place to look up some fonts that you can use for free. Just to make it not look so dang default. Open Sans, that's a really popular one to just use for all your body text. Why not? Let's go ahead and use it. See something you want, you can you can adjust this and see it looking a little different. Looks nice even at small sizes. I think it was 40 by default. You can preview it a few different ways. Write your own text here. JavaScript. Cool. I want to use it. I'll hit plus. One family selected. And it'll tell me how to do it. It tells me load time so far pretty fast. I can go over to customize and see what's going on. So Open Sans has a whole lot of different variations. So there's light italic, there's regular italic, semi-bold, bold, bold, extra bold italic. Regular is good enough for me right now. You start adding a bunch of these, it starts adding to the page load pretty fast. I'm happy with just that. If I need italics later, I can always add it. Then it tells you how to do it. So 2 ways to do it. Standard way, just add a link tag to their style sheet. If you want to do it this way, I'm going to do it the other way. But if you want to do it this way, you would just put that in your HTML up here in the head. I'd put it right above your style sheet. So always put your style sheet last. Then you have a greater chance of overriding other styles. I'm going to do it the other way. Go to @import. And what it's showing you with the style tags is that this goes inside an actual style sheet. So I'll copy this line here, this @import line. And I'm going to actually open up my CSS file for the first time and paste that in there. And then it tells me I can use a rule like this to actually use that font. So what's that mean when it says font family Open Sans, comma, sans serif? First of all, what the heck's a sans serif? Who knows what serif means in font world? Yeah. So sans, Latin for without. Serif. Serifs are these things. These little things at the tops of letters. Those are serifs. Some have them, some don't. So this is a fallback. That means if you can't find this font, if it hasn't loaded yet or it just isn't available or whatever, use this one instead. So another thing you would commonly see back in the day before we had web fonts was it might say Helvetica, comma, Arial, comma, sans serif or something. Because all Macs had Helvetica, all Windows machines had Arial, which is a blatant ripoff of Helvetica. So put it first, so if you actually happen to have Helvetica on it, it'll use it. If it's not there, it'll look for Arial, which was on pretty much everything. Failing to find that, it would use sans serif. Any sans serif font, whatever the default font is for that platform. So we're going to put this in some CSS rule. What's a CSS rule look like? It starts with a selector. We know those, don't we? Things like hash, the ID, or dot, the class, or whatever. Or say we just want it to apply to the whole page. How about body? Totally works. So it's a selector followed by curly braces, followed by a series of properties and values, ending in semicolons. This is not JavaScript. Semicolons are not optional. They must be there after every property and value. So let's see how this does. I want the body to have a font family of Open Sans. Refresh. Yeah. It just looks a little less default. I like it. I'm keeping it. Use Open Sans from Google Fonts. Notice if your font family name has spaces in it, you need to wrap it in quotes. Single quotes, double quotes, doesn't matter. Questions about that?